We are creeping ever closer to the grand finals, but we still have a few days to go. Hello everyone and welcome to day number 6 of the custom mail-in tournament. Let's see how the 6th day goes, starting with our first group. We have 4114 Racing from the team of the same name, Craigster Sr. from Hot Nuts, Sir Pounce, thank you to Brenton, and Junkyard Dog from Noob Racing. I know I say this every time, but it's because it's true every time. I really love the creativity that participants have for their vehicles. And each time they put them to the test on the track, they do not disappoint. But now 4114 is in the lead right now as he was being pushed forward by Craigster Sr. But Craigster Sr. as a result lost some of his speed. And now 41 does have a decent sized lead over the other three. And it looked like Sir Pounce and Junkyard Dog were actually kind of going up against each other back there. We'll see how that comes into play as they approach the finish line, which is crossed first by 4114. Let's see if they will finish. Yep, here they come. And it looks like Sir Pounce will finish in third and Junkyard Dog in fourth. I'm sure Junkyard Dog is trying as hard as they can to represent the other dog racers, such as Lily the dog. So far, not off to a good start, but we've seen some incredible comebacks in this tournament so far. I would not be surprised if that continues to happen. But for now, 4114 does start off with the lead in points. But that doesn't mean they'll stay there. They will have to continuously be careful. We've seen some dangerous things happen on this track. Some racers get flipped over, some almost got pushed off. And definitely some feuds have happened on the track. But for now in this second race, Sir Pounce actually has the lead. Also being pushed forward by Craigster Sr. But Craigster Sr. is a lot closer to them and is actually looking for a way around them. They go around the inside, but they did not have enough to take the lead. Sir Pounce now is taking off, heading into the straightaway before the finish line. Actually almost got vertical for a second and came to almost a complete stop as Craigster Sr. finds his way around them and finishes in first. In fact, Sir Pounce may have not finished at all if he wasn't being pushed forward by the two other racers that were behind them. That is definitely unfortunate, especially for Junkyard Dog, who looked like they were about to make that comeback I was talking about. But the block kept them from finishing any better than fourth again. This is what I mean, folks. We've seen some surprising finishes. Anything can happen, even in the last moments before the finish line. And now in race number 3, Craigster Sr. is holding on to the lead. Now he doesn't have anyone in front of him, so I'm sure they'll be able to stay going fast, rather. Ugh. That's what these exciting races can do to you. Sometimes your mouth will end up moving faster than your brain. But these cars are moving even faster than that. As they head towards the finish line, it is Craigster Sr. in first. And he actually lost a bit of speed, but he had enough to cross with no problem. And we do have a non-finisher, and it is Junkyard Dog. This is not the way they would have wanted to go, but that's looking like how it's going to be. But the fact that they came here with a very fun design, no less, means a lot to this racing community. But now in this 4th race, it looks like 4114 and Craigster are in the best position to move on right now. And Craigster does have the lead, but behind him is actually Sir Pounce, who is looking to, at the very least, block 4114 from passing them. Maybe even get a nudge forward so he can catch up to Craigster, who's currently driving backwards, looking at them in the eye as they race towards the finish. No one is undefeated in this group, but Craigster Sr. is in the best position to grab the highest amount of points, and he will. Meanwhile, Sir Pounce finishes in second. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. I believe 4114 will still be moving on alongside Craigster, but we'll get the official confirmation in a moment. And it doesn't look like anyone was able to get the fastest time in this group, which is still held by Dusty Miles at 13.9. And it is 41-14 joining Craigster Sr. Let's see who in this group will join them in the finals, which has Billy Bob Outback from MDG. We have Nomo. Thank you to Caroline. We have Graveyard King from Hand Racing 3. And we have Flip Gambino from Flips Racing. These are definitely some interesting designs, especially on Nomo's part. The way that vehicle is structured, I'm not sure if that's going to help or hinder them, but we are about to find out. As we start the race, Flip Gambino takes the lead, followed closely behind by Graveyard King. But out of nowhere, Flip Gambino literally flips over, living up to their name, I suppose. And then Graveyard King follows suit. The two leaders both flip on their side or upside down, and now it is Nomo and Billy Bob Outback going very slowly towards the finish line. This is what I mean by crazy events happening in this tournament. Things like this can happen at any time. Will Nomo be able to grab the first win? It looks like they will. They almost got overtaken by Billy Bob at the last moment. But Nomo managed to grab that win due to very unusual circumstances. The two racers that were out in front, both of them flipped either over or on their side respectively. And we have what I believe is the slowest first place finish in this tournament so far, with 22.26. Let's see if lightning strikes twice and we have another crazy turn of events in this race. Flip Gambino does start out in front, but will he flip over again? So far has not done that, staying on their wheels and launching ahead. It looks like they're slipping around a little bit, but as quickly as they start slipping, they just as quickly correct themselves. And they go into the final turn, no one is contending with them whatsoever. And they take that win, keeping Nomo from staying undefeated. In fact, this will lead us to say that we've now gone 6 consecutive days in this tournament without an undefeated racer. And an undefeated racer, in order to be undefeated, they can get a sweep, but in order to stay undefeated, they will have to win 8 times in a row when they're first introduced. And then in order to stay undefeated, they obviously have to win every race they're in until the end of the tournament, which is extremely rare. But that first race definitely threw a wrench into things. And now for heat number 3, Nomo is starting out in front, but he and Billy Bob quickly fall behind, and now it is Graveyard King and Flip Gambino out in front again. And so far, they are staying on their wheels, but just as I say that, Flip Gambino flips on their side, and then Nomo comes along out of nowhere and finds a way to put him back on his wheels. Ladies and gentlemen, that may be one of the first times in history we've seen a racer get off of their wheels and then somehow get back on. And look at that. It looked like they were going to be out, but Flip Gambino managed to grab first place after that little commotion. But we still do have a non-finisher. In this case, it is Billy Bob Racing. And look at Nomo. They are coming out of nowhere. They might have grabbed second place. Let's see what the judges say. They did! A surprising turn of events for Nomo. I am sure they are on the edge of their seats right now. Because after some wacky turns of events, Nomo may actually still have a shot to progress in this tournament. In fact, they are almost in the lead in points, only 1 point behind Flip Gambino. This is not what everybody was expecting, I am sure. But this time around, everyone is on their wheels, and Flip Gambino has the lead, followed closely by Billy Bob. And now they're heading into the last straightaway. Flip Gambino does finish in first, and Billy Bob finished in second. Meanwhile, Nomo does not finish as good as they would have liked. That could spell the end for them. And unfortunately, it looks like the timer might have been busted on that one. So we're not sure what the time was. But Nomo actually is staying in this tournament as they join Flip Gambino in the finals. Talk about good karma. After they saved Flip Gambino, they will join them in these finals right here. But now in this race, Nomo is in 4th and quickly falling behind as Craigster Sr. is pushing Flip Gambino along, allowing them to get a huge lead over the other two. But Craigster Sr. goes sideways just enough to lose a decent amount of speed. This could be the break that Nomo needs yet again. Meanwhile, Flip Gambino, without anyone to contend with them, coasts across the line in 1st. And Craigster in 2nd, 41-14 in 3rd, and here comes Nomo in 4th. Now, just because Flip Gambino finished in 1st here does not mean they won't flip over or not finish at all in other races. In fact, if it wasn't for Nomo, Flip Gambino would have had a non-finish earlier on. But now here comes heat number 2. Nomo is starting in the back again, which means I believe they should start out in the front in the next 2 races, which could be exactly what they need. But for right now, Flip takes the lead. Craigster Sr. trying to make something happen. But in order to do that, they need to close that gap, and so far they haven't been able to do so. It does seem a little bit closer, but right now that is not saying much, as Flip Gambino races towards the finish line yet again, taking the win. And they finish with a 13.95. That is not quite the fastest time, because it was 13.9 held by Dusty Miles, but it is pretty close. And Flip Gambino is one of few racers, in fact, I think they're the second one so far, to get a first place finish under 14 seconds. That is definitely reassuring for them, as they are likely to progress in this tournament to the grand finals. Now, who will join them is the ultimate question. We have no idea right now, despite the point spread. But the 2 leaders in points are in the same lane, and they're pushing each other forward yet again. This seems to be a common strategy among leaders. But now Flip Gambino is looking to pass Craigster Sr. up. So far they bumped off the walls, causing them to lose some momentum, but they are quickly getting it back. They are trying to close that gap. Here they come, bumping into Craigster Sr. yet again. But then Flip Gambino ends up on their side once more. And they may not finish unless someone pushes them along. And no one does it. Flip Gambino just needed one more win to automatically move on to the grand finals. And they very well still might. But now it is not guaranteed after only 3 races. Because usually you can just take a breath of fresh air in the 4th race if you get 3 wins. But that didn't happen here. And now 1 heat left for this group. And Nomo is again starting out in front, this time alongside 41-14. But Flip Gambino is pushing 41 along, and now they are the top 2, as Nomo is fighting in 3rd, and he actually almost found a way around Flip Gambino, but didn't quite get what he needed in order to pull that off. And now Flip Gambino is the one looking to pass 41, and he actually does it. And Flip Gambino, with every passing moment, gets a larger and larger lead, launching like a rocket across the finish line as they get through that last turn into the straightaway. And it will be Flip Gambino moving on in this tournament. I believe it'll still be Craigster Sr. joining him despite that 4th place finish. Or 4th place, I misspoke there. And we'll have to see the points overall. It is Craigster Sr. Now, despite Nomo not moving on, he is still a very respected racer for what he did for Flip Gambino. Thank you all so much for watching. See you for day number 7.